Welcome to Forever in Bloom, an exploration, investigation, and celebration of Jeff Goldblum's cinematic career. I'm Seb.
I'm Liam.
And I'm Beth.
Nice. And what are we talking about today, Beth?
We are talking about The Player from 1992, directed by Robert Altman, starring Tim Roberts.
Yeah, we're back.
Guys.
And Liam? Oh God, okay, no, Beth, please continue.
I have to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I know what you're going to fucking say.
I've changed my mind. I love Robert Altman. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love everything about this film. I love it. I absolutely adore Robert Altman now. I get it. He speaks to me. I understand. I like the ensembleness. I love it. I love it all. Did you know that was coming? I felt like you knew that was coming.
I knew that was coming, but it still hurt more than I expected it to.
Yeah.
Do you disagree? Do you disagree, both of you?
My first note is in staunch capitals that says, I hate the crosstalk of Robert Altman movies.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing I can't get behind.
It's like putting sandpaper in my ears, mate. It fucking does my chime.
See, I thought the sound design in this was actually incredibly interesting and was used as quite an excellent storytelling device.
When you can hear what the fuck people are saying.
That's kind of the point, though, isn't it? Like, it celebrates the ensemble nature of... I thought you'd be split. I thought one of you would be on my team, the other one would not.
So, okay, if we're being frank about it, I feel conflicted. I have a bit of both of you in me today.
Oh God.
I did not consent to that.
Because
Can we cut that out, please?
Look, if I want to talk about what I contain, I'm allowed to.
It's not that kind of show.
Yeah.
But my problem is, I hate a lot of this film quite viciously.
Yep.
And there are a couple of things in this film that I think are like top tier fantastic.
Yep.
And I don't know how to reconcile that balance.
I'm kind of similar, man. Like, there is. I feel like I say this a lot for some of the, especially I think Robert Altman movies. But I feel like there's a better movie in there than what he displayed. There's like a lot of faff, but the intrinsic story that's there was interesting without all of the outside gubbin.
So I'm slightly biased because I've been on a massive hype of watching films about making films recently. So I watched Sunset Boulevard, Mulholland Drive, and Singing in the Rain. They're all set in like Hollywood lots. And this just fits so nicely in with like the subconscious programming that I've been experiencing over the last couple of weeks. It wasn't even intentional. You're in the vibe for this. I'm just really feeling the vibe. I'm really feeling the sunny kind of early 90s like Hollywood dickhead executives swanning around in their cars with their coffees. I'm just feeling it. I'm really feeling it. And I really enjoyed this film. I watched it twice. I even paid for it one of the times.
What? Jesus.
I rented it off YouTube, not realising that when you rent a film, it goes away in 48 hours, and I watched it 3 days before this recording, so then I had to watch it again. No, I loved it. I got it. I still hate his other film that we were subjected to watching.
There was two, Nashville and California Split.
I still don't like Nashville, but this film really pleaded Altman's case for me, and I like
this felt closer to California Split than it did a Nashville.
Yeah.
I can't remember the general consensus of California Split, but
that was the gambling one with Elliot Gould.
Yeah, we liked it more than Nashville, I think.
I mean, because Nashville's a car crash.
I think there is a reference to Nashville right at the start of this, though.
When someone always has to die at the end of a political thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah. And interestingly, you know, this is quite a while after John Lennon was shot, which was inspired by Nashville.
Yeah, and it's what I like.
So Roger Altman killed Nashville. Is it Roger or is it Robert? I'm always fucking this up.
Robert Altman.
Okay.
What I like about it is he features all the actors who had cameos in Nashville when they were very young, but now it features them as actors swanning around Hollywood. And I like this fictional timeline he's created where he has Like Jeff Goldblum and Angelica Houston, who are actors who have cameos, and then we have Tim Robbins, who was an actor at that time, but he's playing.
Yeah, and
Griffin,
like Whoopi Goldberg's playing someone else as well, and all this.
Yeah,
sort of
and
thing.
Whoopi Goldberg. So they were actors. They should have had cameos, but obviously he featured them, so they were not themselves. When everyone else in their world is themselves, and I kind of like that. I thought it was multi-layered.
Like, there are definitely two ways you can take that. I think because I think it is quite cool and tongue in cheek, but also if you want to like dive down into it, then it kind of like breaks the law because if like Jeff Goldblum and all these other people are in this world, then so is like another Tim Robbins that's actually Tim Robbins.
I think you say breaks the laws. I think he sets the laws. I think it's a world he's created which is very rule bound, and he's made those rules. He's kind of devised this whole this whole universe. Like he's created like the physics are convincing enough to convince me that Jeff Goldblum is there as a cameo actor and Tim Robbins is there as Griffin, this executive. I don't know, I just bought it. I completely bought it.
There is a huge cast to this film.
Yeah, well, I reeled off them last episode. Before. Well, I reeled off the amount last week, which was 60-something, and kind of gave you to a mild seizure whilst doing it.
Yeah, but Liam, actually, Beth, you've seen this film twice. Do you want to give like a very brief rundown of the plot?
A very brief. You know, I'm not very good at brief, but I'll try.
In the nature of this film, Beth, in less than 25 words.
Less than 25. Yeah, but then he goes on, doesn't he? He gets given 25 words and he's talking for a good 10 minutes.
It's because he's got it. He got the attention.
He got the attention. Okay, I'll try and get your attention. Okay. It's the 90s. We're in a Hollywood lot. It's active. It's riding off the energy from The Graduate and from all the Julia Roberts films that were out at the time. And they're trying to think of like the next big idea that's going to make them a load of money. We have Tim Robbins as Griffin, who is a big commissioning executive. He gets pitched like 10 ideas a day. He can only commission 12 a year. So he's in a very precarious situation where he doesn't know what ideas to give money to. The job has pushed him into being a bit of an arsehole. He treats everyone with disrespect. He doesn't like writers. He ends up killing a writer because he thinks that he's being blackmailed when it turns out it's someone else that's blackmailing him. So he then ends up getting with the writer who he killed's girlfriend. I just said killed's. Killed.
Yes, that's correct now.
Is that English? Okay. And then it all blows up in his face, but not really, because it's fine in the end because he gets his Hollywood ending. That was brief.
Yeah, man.
That was brief.
Way over 25 words, but I'll allow it.
Thanks. So the first 10 minutes is a singular shot of it moving around this lot and showing all the different people in their positions and all the drama that's arising, all the politics. And you even have, so it's a singular like motion, and you have people walking around talking about like their impression of cinema, talking about what they want from cinema, what they want to ditch in cinema. And one of them even says, I want to ditch all these cuts. Why is it always cut? And it's kind of you know straight away that it's going to be packed with references, multi-layered, like this big multifaceted project. Oh, I just loved it, guys. I thought it was great.
So
Good.
I really have to give it to the ambition and the technical craft that went into making it. Can't knock that at all. I don't like the way it looks, though.
Really?
I really don't enjoy the method of filmmaking that Robert Altman employs, which is lots of long takes and long zooms and reframing the camera in different ways. I think it's interesting, but I don't enjoy it. I prefer when things feel different to the way that his work does, and I don't have very good words to describe it. Other than I feel like his films have no pace. They don't.
The pacing was off. I'll give you that. The pacing was all over the
That's
place.
like the running theme, I feel like. Even though some of the stuff, like California Split, especially in the back end of that, there was some really interesting stuff happening. But it still felt like it was going at a snail's pace, you know?
Yeah. I'll give you that.
And so some of the scenes I liked in this film the most were the scenes that don't have the standard Altman crosstalk happening. It's generally when there were scenes where there were only 2, maybe 3 characters just sort of like having real conversations with each other.
A bit more pithy.
Yeah, well, you know, my favourite sequence of the film is the one with Vincent DOnofrio in it.
Yeah, mate, it's fucking sick. I mean, I could not really get over what he looks like in this. He is such a mad character actor, man. I fucking love Vincent D'Onofrio.
I mean, he's my highlight of this film, I think.
Yeah, me too.
He puts in a fantastic performance. Everything I've ever seen him in, he's put in a fantastic performance. But that sequence of him going to the cinema in Pasadena to going for drinks with him afterwards to getting progressively more angry until they end up having a bit of a scuffle and Tim Robinson strangles him and drowns him in a puddle.
So Vincent D'Onofrio is the
sad way to go.
The writer that Tim Robbins assumes is like threatening his life.
Yeah, and he's ignored his what he thinks is his request to get in contact with him and like reconcile his shitty behaviour. But don't you think it's hilarious that they both walk into the bar stone cold sober? They have one drink. They both have one drink. They walk out, and then the writer is just absolutely trolleyed.
Yeah,
he's completely trolleyed out of nowhere, and he starts limping and slurring. But he's had one drink.
They only show us one drink. We don't know how much time has passed.
That's true.
And also, they are drinking sake, which is like relatively strong. So they're having an intense moment. But that sequence, intense. I was like locked in completely. I was here for it.
Yeah, I was here for it. Although I was slightly taken out of it with the unforgivable exposition of him coming out to follow Griffin to his car and going, "Hey, I'm the writer." That was unforgivable. Like, that was like, I felt like the film didn't spoon feed us at all, but in that one moment, it was basically giving me the teat of life.
Dialogue isn't Altman's strong suit, is it?
I don't think so. No.
I thought there was some good dialogue in this film. I think
there was some good dialogue, but I think a theme that I've noticed throughout all of his films is that it feels written. None of these characters talk like real people, and that's fine because it's allowed to do that because it's a film. But they it does feel manufactured, almost theatrical, which again is fine. It's just not my thing personally.
Seb, I want to ask how long Jeff was in this early on, because I want to know if this is like on par or less or maybe just more than Annie Hall.
Would you believe that it's 1 second longer than Annie Hall?
Yeah, but only just.
Yeah, so let me get up my exact numbers.
That's what, like 8 seconds or something?
I think he's on screen here for 12 in total, and I think Annie Hall was 11.
Right, okay.
But let me just double check.
He's got a pretty powerful jumper, to be fair, whilst he's on screen.
He's fantastic in this because he turns up to a party.
Talks about Ghostbusters.
Yeah, briefly talks about Ghostbusters, and it's just kind of
I kept rewinding it, and I just couldn't work out what he was talking about. Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he's talking to Larry Levy, the dude that's like trying to take over Tim Robbins' job, and he's talking about filming Ghostbusters or something with him. I hear him say Ghostbusters like 3 times.
Right. He's good as a cameo, I have to say. I think some of my favourite roles Jeff Goldman has ever done have been cameos.
And a good crew cut as well. I haven't seen him with that before.
Yeah, I mean, my favourite cameo of his is when he cameos as the lead in the Jurassic Park film. But he was in Annie Hall for 7.1 seconds, so this is actually beating it by a whole sort of 5 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
He makes way more of an impression in Annie Hall. Yeah,
well, he's louder in Annie Hall. He's quiet in the background.
He's very quiet.
And in Annie Hall, they walk out of a room, and he's like in the foreground of the shot, talking on the phone.
To be fair, here people do just like bitch about him a bit.
They do. They do roast him a little bit in this film.
Not my Jeff.
Hashtag not my Jeff.
But yeah, he had a very good jumper. Good look on him.
But I didn't expect him to be in this film so little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked by the lack.
Once I started the movie, I did my usual thing of going on IMDb and just like scrolling through the cast. And I just kept scrolling, and I was like, fuck, how low is he in this cast? And it took so long to actually scroll through him, and I was like, cool, we are like barely going to see him. I expected him to turn up towards the end for some reason, but it was like fairly early on.
But, with a film with such a big cast, I do just want to pull out my couple of favourite performances from the film.
Yeah.
which obviously Vincent D'Onofrio as David Kahane.
Yep.
I really liked Whoopi Goldberg as an investigator.
She's
as a
brilliant,
detective.
isn't
she was great.
She's dressed
truly
very
fantastic.
post-punk for the
Yeah,
80s/90s film. It's incredible.
And ever since I found out that Whoopi Goldberg doesn't have eyebrows, seeing her in any film, like I always focus on that for a while, and it still blows my mind that she suits not having eyebrows.
Does she not? But she's one of the most expressive actors out there.
I know, mate. Somehow she expresses with literally no eyebrows. Look at any photo of Whoopi Goldberg now.
That is a talent. Give her an award.
She's bald above the eye.
That's amazing.
She's got very expressive nubs.
Yeah. She just lifts any scene that she's in.
She's great, and she's great in this.
Would be.
And the scene where he goes into her detective's office and he's in a bit of a fluster and he's very jumpy, and he tries to converse with them about needing a lawyer, and they all just end up laughing at him. And then there's that super close-in shot of his eyes darting around, and he just looks so powerless.
Yeah.
American Psycho came out 8 years after this film, and I absolutely think this must have been a huge influence on that, because it really captures a similar kind of vibe about someone being at the top of their game, yet they're so treated like a powerless kind of child in this situation.
I say Tim Robbins does Man on the Edge very well, doesn't he?
He's brilliant.
He's done it a few times in
actually.
films, and I fucking love Tim Robbins. But also, speaking of Vincent D'Onofrio, he was only 5 years off being Edgar, the cockroach man in Men in Black.
5 years off.
Yeah, 5 years after this, he was Edgar, the cockroach man. Do you remember that?
Right, I see. Yeah.
Which is truly a role of a lifetime for any actor.
Yeah, good progression there, man.
I've never seen a fax machine or a landline phone situated in a car before.
I've seen a phone in a car before, but yeah, a fax machine in a car's fucking insane.
The phone I'll accept.
Why did he have a glove box fax machine?
I do not.
And it's not even in
know.
the glove box. It's just set into the dashboard. Just a fax machine, and somehow, I don't know where it's getting this signal from, because they would be plumbed into the wall at that point. But then this dude just sends him, the guy that's threatening just sends him a note just being like, look under your jacket, in the car with some arrows down. And it's just, how?
Is this film a sci-fi?
No, unfortunately not.
No.
How does he put a snake in his car?
And in some clown box as well. He uses some clown fuckery that the sides open up.
I think he faxed the snake into the car.
You can't fax a snake.
That's the only logical explanation for how that snake got into his car.
Because if that's a possible way of doing things, then do you know who would be the greatest assassin on the planet? Flat Stanley.
Yeah, he would, man. Flat Stanley would be the office equivalent of a Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
wherever there's a fax machine, he'll turn up.
Agent Stanley, we need it done quick and quiet this time. He just appears through the fax machine, gives someone a fatal paper cut across the jugular, disappears.
Paper cut, Flat Stanley, what a guy.
Also, not to take it back too much, I did just want to make the joke that Glovebox Fax Machine is my new retro wave band. Anyway, moving on, it wasn't worth stopping for.
Instead of keeping a Snickers in the glove box, you just fax yourself a whole pack of Snickers.
Beth, I really don't know if you know how fax machines work.
Beth, are you thinking of the 3D food printers in Star Trek?
I was born 3 years after this film came out. Why would I possibly know about car fax machines or the how they work, the mechanics? I don't know. Can we talk about the snake? Can we talk more about the snake? He kills a snake.
He does. He absolutely brutalises a snake with an umbrella handle.
Yeah, he does do that.
Two points about that scene, which are two goofs. One of them is that you see the snake twice with its tail completely still, but you hear a rattle noise. Perfect. And also, when he opens the car door to begin pummeling the snake to death, in the reflection of the window, you can see the entire cast and crew.
Really?
I didn't spot that.
You can see cameras, lights, stage
I'm going to have to
hands.
revisit. I'm going to have to pay $2.49 again to go back and revisit these moments. I honestly swear to God, this in Greenwich Village, I'm going to have a movie night at my house. I'm going to get all my friends around and we're just going to sit there poking holes. I love it.
I think I knew that there was part of me that knew, even if you didn't like this whole movie, that you would still have a soft spot because of how much Richard E. Grant we get, being like a chaotic maniac.
Yeah. And it's his performance in this confirmed to me that he genuinely has no idea how hammy he is.
Yeah.
And that's why he gets cast in so many films, because he actually doesn't even have the capacity to understand and comprehend how hammy he is. But it's brilliant. Obviously it translates.
It's perfect for that role.
Perfect.
I truly love him.
Of the over-the-top dramatic writer kind of thing. It's so perfect for that.
Everything I've ever seen him in, just fantastic. So I'm just gonna come out and say something right now, which I don't think either of you two can argue with.
Oh.
I don't quite know where to put this film in the Blumiverse.
Yeah, I was going to wonder how you were going to do that, mate, to be honest.
I mean, the obvious one is this is during his stint as an actor, but that's not very funny to say or interesting to talk about.
Bring some jokes to the table.
Well, I want to invite you two. I want to invite a submission from one of you two about where this fits in. And you're on the spot.
This is kind of your thing.
Is that how we're taking it? I thought we were all in this together.
This is not High School Musical. We all have our own jobs. We all put the hard work in separately. I think there's maybe something in the fact that, in all of the previous Bloomverse theories for each film, it's all been about him having kind of greater knowledge of where he is situated in his timeline, whereas in this he's very much a small part of a timeline that's been constructed featuring him as this cameo of an actor who just happens to pass by, and there's a bigger story going on. So that kind of omnipotent presence has been stripped away. So I see why you struggled.
Beth, are you implying that he's been trapped in a snow globe universe by Robert Altman?
He's in the interim.
Because that's all I can think of now.
He's between worlds.
Liam, yes.
Liam?
Liam's raised his hand. Hello.
Thank you. I have one.
Mm-hmm. Share it with the class.
Every time he wakes up, we know that he can choose to either take over the ability to run or the ability to play jazz. Yeah. And he always chooses the ability to play piano jazz.
Always.
I like to think that there is also sometimes some echoes of memories that he doesn't completely know what they mean, but there's just phrases in his head sometimes. And I think he woke up with the phrase Ghostbusters in his head. And he was he didn't know if it was a movie, if it was an organization, if it was a villain. And he was just walking around and he heard it was a film and he was going to a party with a bunch of actors and he's like, this is my fucking moment. This is what I find out what Ghostbusters is. And it's just been Ghostbusters. Anyone heard about the film Ghostbusters? Who worked on the film Ghostbusters? I think that's it. That's my bit.
On the topic of waking up with a word or phrase in your head, I woke up this morning, immediately steely-eyed, staring at my ceiling, going, "I hope I don't hate this film today." And
was that before you watched it?
Yeah, it was. I watched it this morning. And
they call that the fear of Altman.
Yeah, my actual first thought upon waking this morning was, "I hope I don't hate this film."
God, you need to get some hobbies.
Also, to back up my nubile Jeff theory, it's that this is the shortest we've seen his hair, and I think he's born bald, and it rapidly grows over 12 hours. So we're seeing him 4 hours after he was born.
I mean, I think everyone's born bald, but
no, not always. Read a book, Seb. Jesus.
Look, Liam, you know I can't read.
Okay, I've got a theory, and I never do this conspiracy bit, so be nice. I reckon he was. This is his first. This film comes absolutely first in the timeline of Jeff Goldblum. He landed from the sky, an alien egg that fell out of a UFO, landed in this middle of a Hollywood party, was born as a middle-aged man because he's a type of alien that just reflects whatever it is that's in front of him. And obviously it's a Hollywood party in the 90s, so it's all middle-aged men.
Yeah.
And
so hold on, you're saying that Jeff Goldblum as a visage is an amalgamation of all of the men in Hollywood?
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting idea.
If you smash them together in a Carry on.
Oh, no, that was it. It's rubbish. Never mind.
No, it wasn't.
No,
that
so
was
Beth,
literally
I like it.
And I was trying to think of how to tie in the Ghostbusters thing, and I just couldn't.
No, well, maybe he was walking through, and maybe the guy whose house they're at was a producer on Ghostbusters, and it was the first thing he saw, like a big plaque being like, "Well done for Ghostbusters," and he was like, "I wonder what that is. It must be important."
Oh yeah, that plaque that every filmmaker gets after their film does well, saying "Well done for making Ghostbusters."
It's like Liam, they would only get the Ghostbusters plaque if they made Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah, but are you telling me that like he says like "Well done for Citizen Kane"?
Yes, it's like when you get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, they send you a silver plaque. But Beth, I really like the new law that you've added that he gets dropped into the world as an egg.
Yeah,
that's going to be standard going forward now.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about a wet Jeff egg.
Just I'm imagining it as one of those little, remember those alien babies that we'd all have in school? And there was rumours that if you rub two together, they'd produce a third baby.
Yeah, you put the flat backs together, they
maybe
fuck.
two kids at school in little old England rubbed two eggs together thinking, this isn't going to work. And it worked. And out comes baby Jeff covered in slime, somehow gets transported to America and then wakes up at an alien party, a human party as an alien and pretends to be human. I've solved it, guys. We can stop doing this podcast now.
I just want to say, the idea of watching someone rapidly age from being born into a pile of slime and then suddenly like aggressively growing to adult height is really unpleasant.
And not just adult height, they grow to that height and then they start being Jeff, like fucking scatting and wobbling all over the place.
Maybe we could follow suit of David and Brandon Cronenberg. We could make a film inspired by them and convince Jeff Goldblum to be in it, and that could be the plot. And it could be like a Being John Malkovich type of very self-referential
if
film.
Being John Malkovich meets Benjamin Button.
I would totally watch that.
I absolutely would.
So let's go ahead and do True Bloom.
Yeah, nice.
Not an easy one. I just went straight down the middle, 5 out of 10.
Well, that's interesting, because I went for 10.
Wow. Is this your first 10 out of 10?
Yes.
Interessant.
Yes, it is. And do you know why?
Why?
Because I feel like he really does enjoy the Ghostbusters quite a lot and care about it. And also, he looked good. He had a 12 seconds of just mumbling a bit. That seems quite him.
That is quite Jeff. And he had a very Jeff jumper. You know what? 6.
Okay. Beth, where do you sit on it?
I also went with 10 because I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
We're
going to have a new number 1. You two are going to fuck this, mate. I'm going to have to ditch my next numbers down.
No, you cannot change.
No, I won't.
Change after we've announced. After we've announced the scars, you cannot change it. Okay, so
yeah, I think that's entrapment if you do that.
Am I having deja vu, or is that like joke happened before?
I might have said that in the past. Who knows?
That's just a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I am. I'm the entrapment donkey. Anyway,
I don't want to hear that. Craft, I put. Sorry, Beth. 5 out of 10.
Oh, you. Oh.
I think that's fine. I did the same actually.
I'm giving it an 8.5. I think that is a very valid and worthy score for this film.
I agree. I think it's fine. I think it's made well, but I don't like it. What did you give it for enjoyability, Beth? 13?
104. No, I'm giving it a 9. I really liked it. I really liked it.
That's fine. Liam,
you can't strip me of that.
No,
I gave it a 3.
Oh.
To be fair, I gave it a 6 because the moments that I liked it, I really liked it, and then there were just not enough of those.
But that's the thing for me. When those moments weren't there, I struggled to pay attention.
I think part of this does come down to taste. I think both of you knew this would appeal to me anyway.
100%.
I could kind of tell as I was watching it that it would be split, and I would probably enjoy it more than you guys. It's just my kind of film.
The story, like, kind of in the same vein of what Seb was saying, like, I really like what they were doing and some of the elements of the story. I just don't like the way that Robert Altman goes about it.
Yeah. They're things that are part of his style, and I appreciate that people like them, and I appreciate that they've influenced contemporary filmmaking to a huge degree.
Yeah.
But I think aesthetically they just don't tickle my pickle.
Float your swan.
Do either of you want to hazard a guess at where this lands on the ranking? Because this is our 30th film.
Wow. Yeah, it's episode 24, I think, isn't it?
It is.
So I'm going to say 5th.
Okay. Beth, where are you thinking?
It's difficult because I gave it very high and Liam gave it a lot lower. I reckon, between like 4 and 8.
You're both wrong. It's number 2.
Whoa!
What did it knock off?
So it's beaten only by The Fly.
Fair.
Although the Fly has beaten it by a solid 14 points.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how much of a lead we've got there at the moment. And it has just knocked down Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which it only beats by 2.5 points.
Oh, taglines, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, same as always. 2 written by me, 1 from the actual film. You two have got to guess which one is real. Number 1. Now, more than ever. Number 2. Number 2. No stars, just talent. Number 3. No talent, just stars.
You're getting sneakier with these, Liam. You're getting more complex in your creations of how to.
It's all smoke and mirrors now, isn't it?
Not that I ever win.
You were starting to get some right, so I needed to step it up a little.
Can we have them again, please?
Number 1. Now more than ever. Number 2. No stars, just talent. And number 3. No talent, just stars.
No stars, just talent is what they say when they're pitching for the film, which then ends up having Bruce Willis in it.
And Julia Roberts.
So why would they turn that on its head for a tagline with having no talent, just stars? Why would they do that? But also, why would they have a piece of dialogue as the tagline? Oh, no, I guess they would. I'm going to go with number 2.
So you're going for no stars, just talent.
I know, why would they have that, though? Because it's full of stars.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to go for now more than ever.
Okay.
I don't like being a agreeer.
You're allowed to agree with things. And other people.
It's not in my nature, so I'm going to go with number 2.
Okay, well, this is why you lose.
I'd rather lose and not be an agreeer, whatever the fuck that means.
So you can never agree with anyone on anything. Wow, that was the first death by stubbornness, I think. Might come on.
It's my Achilles
Agree with
heel.
me, you shouldn't jump off this cliff. Fuck you.
It's my my Oedipus complex. No, is that right? Is that what I'm saying?
That's if you're a man that wants to fuck their mum. So
What am I thinking of? Where someone
you said Achilles heel.
A hubris, which leads to your own detriment. What is the trope?
Yeah,
called?
that's what hubris. Yeah.
There is. I'm gonna have to Google that because there is something I can't remember. Anyway, who is Seb?
Okay, it was
right?
Seb, you got it right. Yeah, it was now more than ever.
Well done.
Which is a really bad tagline.
They sort of harped on that quite a lot, so I kind of assumed that would be in there somewhere.
It's just also a really, really bad tagline.
I mean, it is. It is about the player now more than ever. That doesn't sound good, but it sounds believable.
This also got an Oscar nom for Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Editing, which is kind of wild.
That is pretty wild. And the whole, they wanted to win an Oscar in the film.
That's the thing, multi-layered, multifaceted, and they keep talking about reality, and you never really get reality because even the film itself has a unrealistic, quite surreal Hollywood ending, which
it's
I thought was
very meta,
clever.
the whole thing, yeah.
I love that kind of shit. I just have one other thing to say. So there's when he gets, he's killed someone, he's managed to get away with it for a long time. Then eventually they find a witness. He's in danger. So the company hire the highest up high crime lawyer of all time in Hollywood, probably being paid millions. Why is he a Reebok advert? Why does he wheel up head to toe in Reebok? I was so confused by this. Why does this happen?
Maybe he's an actual lawyer and that's how they paid for him.
Was he sponsored by Reebok? Was it product placement? Like, why?
Yeah, maybe it was like in the same way that Wayne's World is like, I'm never going to sell out, and they're like constantly like flipping up pizza boxes or like drinking Pepsi or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant sequence, and the comic timing on that is like superb. But this, I felt like I was missing something. There was no humour to it.
It's absolutely insane.
So
I guess if we're going to talk about golden blooms, I guess, are we allowed to talk about something other than Jeff, because he's only in it for 12 seconds?
Nope.
Okay, well, my favourite bit was when he says the word Ghostbusters about 4 times.
You just screwed me over big time, Seb. I'm going to have to do 9 for the next film because of that. Because I honestly don't have
I
one.
really liked his jumper.
I really liked how short his hair was.
Nice.
Cool. One and done. Easy. Easiest golden bloom ever.
But if we're going to bend the rules a little bit...
Nope.
Okay. No, I'm not... No, you... Look.
It's a golden bloom. It's not a golden grant, is it?
Yeah, it was going to be about Richard E. Grant.
Oh, I want to hear it.
No,
I want a golden grant.
All I was going to say was that I really like his like self-assuredness in his role as the writer. Like the executive he's with is like, you have to say thank you, and he's just like angry about it. And then right at the end, he sells out.
Yeah, because he realised that people would have hated the movie.
Yeah. And
everyone calls it like a really absurd movie, but the way he described it, I was like, I'd actually kind of watch that film.
I'd watch that, yeah.
I'd straight up watch the film he originally wanted to make.
Yeah, but I just... Other than Jeff Goldblum, Richard E. Grant is one of my favourite actors of that like period.
And has a similar but very different like chaotic energy within him.
Yeah, 100%.
He's British.
Give me a Richard E. Grant, Whoopi Goldberg, Jeff Goldblum like buddy cop film.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that would be fucking great.
That would really do it for me.
Jesus, that would be so good.
I don't have anything else to say about this.
Yeah, I don't think I do either, to be honest.
I only made 3 notes.
Yeah, I didn't make many.
Do you want to see how many notes I made?
Yep.
Yeah?
Look.
We're looking.
4 pages.
4 pages. Loose as well, you maniac.
I ripped them out so I could lay them out on my bed, so I didn't have to be like turning over pages as we were talking.
If I can read you my three notes verbatim. It's Vincent is fantastic. He died. Richard E. Grant is great.
That was it.
The rest they were all the notes I made. The rest I kept in my little noggin. What are we watching next time?
I want to watch Men in Black.
We're not watching that next.
Oh, can we though?
No, Jeff Goldblum's not in it.
Yeah, but what if I make a cut where he is in it?
That's
what
just
a bootleg.
Changed everything, Liam.
Yeah.
Deep Cover.
Deep Cover
is the next movie. Ooh, we've got a bit of Lawrence Fishburne as well.
Oh, I like me some Fishburne.
So, Deep Cover is a 1992 action crime thriller. A uniformed cop is recruited by a drug enforcement agent to infiltrate a drug smuggling ring looking to expand its operation. And our boy Jeff, he's not looking that high up the cast. He plays someone called David Jason.
David Jason. I don't like people that have 2 first names.
Ooh.
Oh, so thank you, because my name's Liam Lucas. My name's Liam James Lucas. I'm going to dox myself for this, but there's 3 first names there, so...
Lucas? Oh,
yeah, Lucas is a first name.
Yeah.
Lucas, come get your dinner.
If you ever get famous, like, in the film industry, they'll think that it was nepotism.
For some reason, I confused that in my head with botulism, and that's a very different thing.
That's something you get when you eat things that are not safe for you. I forgot how to talk for a second.
Leave beans in a can for too long. I think we're done, aren't we?
Yeah, unless we loop it round back to the start, make it cyclical about what is inside Seb.
Look,
yeah,
lots of things.
No. I don't want to go down this avenue. I'm going to end the podcast right now. So if everyone could share the show,
it's like
no, shut your mouth. Shut the mouth. Put the lips together. I can see them moving. If everyone could share the show online or with friends or anything like that, or give it a rating on iTunes, that really helps. If you want to get in touch for any reason, you can yell at us on Instagram at foreverinblum, or yell through the internet at foreverinblum@gmail.com, and they may be read out.
If you just stand outside safely where no one else is around and just sort of shout, one of us might hear, and then we could come and, safely 2 meters away say...
Scream it into the sky.
Say something about Jeff Goldblum, and then Seb, you could do that.
Probably won't, I'll be honest. I don't really know how to shout, so that takes me out of the equation.
Oh, that's fine. So if you can't shout, you whisper your message into a raven's ear and they'll know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks again for listening, everyone that has been and continues to do so.
Yeah, thank you.
Please continue to do so. And yeah, just to reiterate what Liam was saying, please share it with a friend.
Please.
It means a lot.
Helps us grow and helps us carry on doing this.
Helps us earn a crust.
And it helps validate me.
And our fragile egos. Right, thank you everyone. Bye.
Bye.